Hello everybody, welcome to Living with Asperger's, and today I am talking about charities. Now, one of the bigger charities out there that people think is good is Autism Speaks. I'm going to prove to you today that not only are they literally the worst charity for autism, but they are probably the worst charity ever. And the main reason why this is because if you ask a normal person, they think that Autism Speaks is perfectly good. They think it's an excellent organization that helps people with autism. But if you ask anybody with autism, they'll tell you a very different story. To me, Autism Speaks is probably the worst charity ever. And the reason why it's so bad is because only about 3% of their funding actually goes to helping people. The rest of it is used for advertising and for making themselves look better. And the way they make themselves look better is they go to autism boards and blogs where people will post stuff about autism, and they post their own stuff that is completely not true. And another thing that they do is that if they find anything that is against them or that is calling them out, they will actively shut it down. As in, they will remove it from the board. Now, I am taking a bit of a risk here in doing what I'm doing, but my channel's so small that they probably won't even notice anyway. But Autism Speaks is literally the worst charity ever. And once again, it's because of how much money they spend on everything else and how much money they actually spend on helping people. And, whenever it comes down to helping people, as a charity, you're supposed to actually physically help people. What Autism Speaks does is they send people with autism into these psychological, they try to talk people out of their behavior as an autistic person, which, as many of you know, is literally impossible. And what this does is it creates long-lasting psychological damage to the person. It's like sending a gay person to a get the gay away camp or something like that. I don't know what they're called, but that's basically what they're doing, except for the person being gay, the person has autism. Now, I'm saying this as an autistic person. There are so many issues with this charity that I can't even name them all off. But one of the biggest offenses that I have ever seen was a commercial that aired a couple of years ago, where it showed the CEO of Autism Speaks talking to the viewer about autism and how bad it apparently is. Bad. But what she did next really freaked me out. It was almost disturbing how odd and unusual this was. If this was any other charity, they would immediately, disband. But Autism Speaks is so bad that they literally don't give a shit anymore. She said that she would rather drive her car off of a bridge than help her daughter with autism. Yeah, you heard me right. She'd rather kill herself than help her daughter who has a minor learning disability. Now, I don't know about you, but that's pretty dark and disturbing, if anything. But this isn't even half of it. Almost all the board members of Autism Speak do not have autism, and the one person that did left the charity because he noticed that all of their practices are so bad that they didn't help anyone. In most situations, it only made the situation worse. And, I'm sure there are hundreds of other charities you could donate to. But then this is where the third part of why Autism Speaks is so bad comes in. They have actively destroyed other autism charities. Way back in 1989, when autism was first a confirmed disorder and it was first added to the DSRM, which is what we Americans use and probably the entire world uses to categorize mental disorders, personality disorders, pretty much everything you can imagine that comes from, the human condition. But there were hundreds of new autism charities by the mid-90s because people knew about this, and much like when people first discovered the allergen to peanut butter, everyone had it. Now, don't get me wrong, autism is still fairly uncommon, but it's one of the most common mental disorders out there besides ADD and ADHD. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's pretty impressive. So all these charities are out here, and they're doing whatever they can to help. They're adding new learning programs into school, and they're a part of the reason why the ILC sections of schools exist today, because not only did it help people with autism, but it helped people with other disorders, physical or mental or psychological. Then Autism Speaks came along, and they literally destroyed these other foundations. The whole point of a charity is to help people. If you are actively getting rid of competition simply to be the biggest and the best, you are no longer a charity. You are an absolute scam. And what they are doing right now is so horrifying that I'm no longer going to go into detail because it's just disturbing. All I'm saying is do your research before you donate. And if you ever get anything from Autism Speaks asking for you to donate, do not donate, please. Not only does it hurt us, but it hurts millions of other people around the world, even people that don't even have autism. So, I'm going to leave you with this. When was the last time you saw an organization say that they'd rather kill themselves because of the disorder that they are trying to support? I guess that's all for this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.